Hello. Well, I just kind of wanted to put the idea of, putting it out there of a society kind of a thing, just whatnot, off the top of my head kind of thing, where the society would be so open to the point of where it's, like open coding and, or what kind of thing, where there's a point where you don't have to fill out a job application because all your information is already there, presented and seen. It's not that somebody would have access to it per se. It's just that it would line up in through a society kind of a structure that is the mainstream kind of thing, like a base that everybody goes from, so that nobody has to recreate the wheel every single time, which is beneficial because then you can take that energy that you would have put to recreate that will and put it somewhere else, so that you can go ahead and further yourself in another area. And if you take it from the perspective of being as a collective, as simply you do something, so does everybody else do something, then, that kind of thing. Going back to the whole thing of, if you had that kind of, if there was something like that, where you could just say, I want this job, and all you have to do is say, I want this job, kind of thing, and then get reviewed and all that kind of process or whatnot. As that of like, what would that mean for the society as a whole? Like, what would those people do? Kind of thing. Like, me personally, I would think that they would go forth and basically take the idea of never really recreating the will and just build from everything around a basis of something like that. So, like, in another sense of like books as a library, everybody would have access to them. And you would be able to have like all your learnings and stuff like that, like all your poems or your ideas, that you would write them down basically, and you would put them on a file so other people can see them. And so like down the line, like years down the line, somebody else can look at that and be able to grow from that and expand from that and never have to recreate the will. Like today kind of thing, where you look at a book, and really that was limited to back then, to where somebody had to get such a following, they networked so much that they got the traffic of being able to have somebody be willing or whatnot to copy and write this stuff, make that book, and then keep passing that knowledge on. Yes, it was such a presidential or such a extravagant kind of an idea that it was, and so taking that from that simple idea that if you write it down and you have it somewhere where somebody else can get to it, they would be able to grow from that and never have to recreate the will. That's the kind of a society that I would think, kind of an aspect of it. Now, we could have that society today. It's just there's the fact of those that want to get you to do something so they don't have to, and like as enslavement to that of a higher class or something like that, to the fact of a fear-based kind of an idea of, well, if I put my information out there, somebody can get to it, and then they're going to use it for something, like the government, the big brother. That brings me to the fact, or the under the whole thing of, well, we need to have it where, let's get past that. Let's get past that and embrace that of like the whole thing of like, what is it? Getting past the fear of going back and reverting to the dark ages. Because the only reason technology, to me, I wouldn't be able to use technology or whatnot, or the benefit of technology that comes into play for me is, well, how do I spell this word? Say the word and it spells it for me, and now I can learn how it spelled, kind of thing, at that time, because maybe I wasn't ready to learn how to spell that word or retain it or whatnot. So other than that, other than having where that computer does so much, like does the whole equation for you and everything like that, well, other than having where you get reverted back to the Dark Ages, why do you have to know how to do that math problem in the first place? Except for the whole understanding of how to, like the reason why you would go to college or go to a class, and like they would put you through creative thinking kind of thing, where you would have to take this idea and like you would take it and see what else you can do with it. Other than that, why would you need to know how to do something? You know, other than that, you know, going back to what I was gonna say though, of it makes sense to me why we should start putting it to where in the government kind of a thing where they do progress reports and stuff like that. It's not the fact, like, okay, they say they're running for this thing and they get elected for that. How have they went back and tried to do anything for that? I understand the point of it being that they have to focus on other things in a sense, so they can't get to that. It just doesn't mean they shouldn't try to go back to it. I also think that there should be video cameras in that one place. You know, I mean everywhere. You know, it'd be really nice to be able to, so I'm going to get this furniture. Oh, do I have enough room for this? Will it fit? Where would it fit? And then, you know, the computer basically says, oh, it would fit here, or this way you can put it, or you can arrange this way and this way, kind of thing. That would be so beneficial, you know, no more having to measurement or remember anything like that. And like, you would be able to go, where's this at? And the computer would say, oh, it's over here. You know, you put it over here. So then you wouldn't ever have to make a lock. So that would mean you wouldn't have to use metal in an unnecessary way, because that's where you have to mine that and stuff like that. So now you can use the metal for other things. Going back to what I was saying though, of videotaping Congress or whatnot, is I understand that there's points where they're trying to do something and they don't need it to get out, in a sense, because they need to discuss it in a calm manner and unlife-threatening kind of thing. It's just that after the fact, I want to know who said what. You know, if they're supposed to be representing, then what representation did what? Because that brings me to the whole thing of, well, I want to represent myself. I want to represent myself because there are things that I don't agree with. You know, I think it's so foolish to make bullets that actually kill people, not guns. I mean, yes, people threw the gun, threw the bullet, killed that person. It's just, the gun is the middle point of a bullet to the person. So, it's just, I want to represent myself, you know. Why can't it be where I just get to have it where a discussion and stuff like that? That's pretty much what my thought is at this moment. You enjoy. You know, think. Go outside the box. Become able to see the meaning in things and go deeper in it. Because that's the only way you'll be able to really see a change, is by changing your perspective and finding the meaning in it. Nevertheless, you enjoy, and thank you for hearing me out or whatnot.